caffeine's our call. Ralph with tech news ready for all. Coding workouts getting us toned. By sunrise we'll be in the zone. Grab your Java, sip the brew. Headlines, tech tips just for you. Editing lines, making it tight. With every keystroke we see the light. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Push those reps in lines of code. Script the future fast and bold. From headlines deep to bites so bright, we're your guide to morning might. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Coding flows, camaraderie grows. News unfolds and insight flows. Minute by minute, heartbeats pace. Come join us at the daily race. CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Mornings are better with our grind. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Let me throw up our timer for this morning. I got a meeting at 9:05 Eastern time this morning, so we will not go on for too much longer for this morning, but welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. We're in 2025 and we are hitting the ground running. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everyone is doing well. We are going to get into our large language models. Any quick announcements? Yes. So we have at noon Eastern time today, software explorations, concept and overviews. We're going to be going over, having an overview of large language models, or as my friend Don would say, large ligma models. I don't even know what that means, but it is what it is. We're going to be doing that tomorrow night. We're going to be doing our first session of ethical hacking. We're going to be installing our virtualization. I'll be installing UTM. You might be installing VirtualBox depending on what operating system that you're on. Then we're going to install Kali Linux and we're going to play around with that. We're probably going to explore some Linux commands, all of that good stuff. That's going to be tomorrow. But for now, for today, we are going back into our large language models. We're going to be going into Jupyter Labs. What I did was I had deactivated, or I had shut down Jupyter Labs, right? So that we can start it up. So that way we can actually get some reps in instead of just leaving it up, and then we can just go in and go from where we did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen. No, let's get started. Let's not waste any time. Share the screen. So we're going to look at what we did before. All right. So last week we installed Olama. We ran version 3.2 of Olama because it was 20 gigs. The other one is 42 gigs, 3.3. So that was going to be way too much to install, to download and put on my computer. We interacted with it. We checked out the different models. We set up our data science environment on Monday. We cloned this repo right here from the course. The course is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In case you are interested in following along, we installed Anaconda. We installed Jupyter Notebooks. Well, actually, no, we didn't install, quote unquote, install Jupyter Notebooks. It came as part of installing Anaconda. I was thinking about doing it through Docker, but I decided not to use Docker to do it because it would be a lot more setup. We created our environment file, our .env file. We created our OpenAI key. Showed how to do that. So if you're not sure how to do that, go back to the maybe 2 videos ago. Maybe to episode 1. And then we started working on our project of the AI-powered web page summarizer. So we activated Conda, we actually had to create the environment. I should add that in there. Let me see. I did not. Let me add the command to create the environment so that in case you go and look at the web page, you have all the details that you need. Let me go to here and here. Okay. So I'll just drop. So I'll update this after, but we had to, and this is the mistake that I made like on the first day. We have to first create our environment. So it's conda env create -f, and then it's going to look, and then you need the environment.yaml file. So that's what created our environment, and then we activated the LLMS environment, and then we went to Jupyter Lab, and then we got into exploring Jupyter Lab, right? So let's not waste any time. Let's just get started with it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the other screen. All right. Let me do this. Clear that out. So what I'm going to do real quick, I am going to deactivate my Conda environment. I'm just curious what's going to happen, right? Like, are we going to get everything that we worked on last time, or are we going to have to like semi-start over? I don't know. Let's find out. So I'm going to do Conda. Let's say deactivate maybe. LMS. See what happens with that. All right. So deactivate. All right. So Conda. So let's just do Conda deactivate. That way, it's really, really important to try out these different commands, and then once you see how they work, you go and you try it again, right? Like, and you just keep practicing at it. So that way, it can start sinking into your mind. So I thought, like, from my mind, I thought it was going to be Conda deactivate LLMS. But it doesn't take the argument of LLMS, is just Conda deactivate. So now the environment is deactivated. Let me see. So now I'm going to do Conda activate LLMS, and our environment should be activated, all right? Let me clear, and I'm going to do Jupyter Lab inside the Conda LLMS environment. And when I press enter, it should start up. Let's go to our other screen. And we are back to our Jupyter Labs environment. Now the question is, what we did the other day, is it saved or not? Did we lose it, or are we good to go? So let's find out, because I am curious. I'm just as well. I don't know if you're curious, but I'm curious to know what happened to what we did the other day, right? So if we start to scroll down, let's see if everything that we did got erased, or so this is still good. So this is still good. Oh, look at that. All our stuff is still there. All of our stuff is still there. So it did get saved. So that's good. So if we scroll down over here, we should see USA Jobs, where our good friend Magnetar17 said, hey, try USA Jobs. And as we saw, usajobs.com redirects to usajobs.gov. So awesome stuff. Let me see. All right. So now I think I need to run all the way up until that point. Let me see. What is this? Restart the kernel and run all the cells. All right. So let's keep going. So this is pulling in. This is, let me see what's going on here. So this is where we left off on Monday. And so we're passing the headers for Mozilla, Apple WebKit, yada, yada, yada. And we're passing it, and it says to get the URL that we're going to be passing in, and use Beautiful Soup to take the response content and run it through Beautiful Soup with the HTML parser. Get the title of the page, strip out irrelevant information, and then get the text, right? So that's what, so this code right here is when we pass in this website of http usajobs.com, we're saying print out the title and then print out the text. So all of this code right here, right? You see this class website is saying ed equals website, and then you're passing in the URL. So if you are taking a Python course, you're going to be learning this type of stuff. And like, as you see this over and over, it's going to make more sense, but it's saying print what it's print the title, ed dot title, and it is saying over here, self dot title, and then self dot text. So print out the title that you defined in here that is extracting, and print out the text that is extracting, right? And that gives us, let me close this out, that gives us all this text over here that is on the USA usajobs.gov website. All right. So let's continue. So, all right. Let me see. So now let's keep reading. You may know this already, but if not, you will get very familiar with it. Models like GPT-4o have been trained to receive instructions in a particular way. They expect to receive a system prompt that tells them what task they're performing and what tone they should use. A user prompt, the conversation starter that they should reply to. All right. So with OpenAI and GPT-4o or 4.0, no, 4.0, that's not a 0, that's a O. There's a system prompt. We're saying that tell them what task they are performing and what tone should you take. So you should say like, I need you to explain this as if you're explaining it to a 6th grader, right? And then the user prompt is like, the user prompt would be something like, how does the stock market work, right? So now the response that you should be getting is a response of like, okay, so an example that a 6th grader would understand, all right? Good morning, Fanny P. How are you doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. Happy to see you. It's early for you. So welcome. Happy to have you here as always. All right. So let me see. The user prompt, the conversation starter that they should reply to. All right, so now let's take a look at this, right? So define our system prompt. You can experiment with this later, changing the last sentence to read, respond in Markdown in Spanish. Ooh, that would be pretty cool. So that way, I really wonder what's gonna happen. I'm gonna try. I cannot really read Spanish like that, but I am curious what is going to happen. All right, so if we say, so it says, all right, so the system prompt, you are an assistant that analyzes the contents of a website and provides a short summary, ignoring text that might be navigation related. Respond in Markdown, all right? So, and then the next step, so we're gonna go back. I just wanna read this real quick. It says, a function that writes a user prompt that asks for summaries of websites. So the user prompt so this is defining a function, right? And the function would be called user prompt for, and it takes a variable of website. So if you are learning to code in any language, right? Java, C#, Ruby, Rust, which I've never even looked at Rust code, but I'm going to assume that the principles are still the same, right? But let's say you're learning in all of that, any of those languages, Python as well, JavaScript. The concept stays the same. The syntax definitely changes with the context, right? So you're defining your function, right? And you define it a little bit differently in Java, where you'd say this is going to be a method, or not a class, but a method, for instance, right? And then you're going to be passing your variables. And so in Python, you don't need to define what type of variable that it's going to be, what type of parameter. But in languages like Java, you would say this would be in taking a string or a URL, right? So it says, all right, so user prompt for, so you're passing in the website, and it's saying, all right, the user prompt equals So this is called an F string right here in Python, right? So Python has a way where you don't need to, it's different when you're trying to pass in a variable within a, within a, like a string or something like that, right? So it says user prompt for, and then it says website. So the website that you're actually going to be passing in here is going to be the website from this class right here. So you're going to be passing this class into there apparently, right? So it says, all right, so if we're looking here, it says, all right, user prompt for, you're looking for a website titled website.title, and that's going to provide you the title. Or you're looking at a website, call that. User prompt, the contents of this website is as follows. Please provide a short summary of the website in Markdown. If it includes news or announcements, then summarize these two. So this is actually pretty interesting, because what we're going to end up doing is grabbing all of the text, stripping out all the navigational stuff onto into like, and it's going to be held in this website.txt, right? And it's going to be saying, so it's going to pass that to the user prompt. So what I'm seeing here is, all right, so this is the user prompt, and then you're going to add this to the user prompt, and then you're going to add this to the user prompt, and then it's going to return. So then like the user, like, so this function is going to return user prompt that includes all of this over here, right? So pretty cool, right? So this says print the user prompt for ed. And we'll see what exactly. Oh, okay, ed is this content over here, right? Let me see. So let's give it a try. So I think we need to go and run all the stuff above first, and then we can, all right, so let's do this. Let's import this. I think what was our command again? Was it like shift enter? I don't remember. Let me see. What was it? Let's do run. It's going to be shift enter. Yep, shift enter. So we're going to go to here. We're going to do shift enter. We're going to come down over here. We're going to do shift enter. We're going to do over here. So our API key is found, looking good so far. We're going to do shift enter. OpenAI is good. Let's go here. Let's do this again to see what we get over here. We should get a, all right, sounds like exciting endeavor. Live streaming on a show dedicated to learning about large language models is a great way to engage with the audience and share knowledge. It is a fascinating topic that has a lot of potential for applications in various fields. How can I, all right, so perfect, right? Let's continue. So now we are going to run this one over here, right? So that we can get this class initiated, right? And this is how it works in Jupyter Labs. But when we go to implement this on our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data application, we're first gonna have to do it in JavaScript, right? Because that's what the website is built on. Unless, which I do not plan on doing this, but unless we were to create our own little microservice where we can make an API call to our own microservice that's going to go out to OpenAI, return the information, and then return it to our front end. All right, I just said that we're not going to do that, but we might, because guess what? We have time, and we always want to apply the best practices, still engage in our website, in our web engineer, or in our software engineering practices and stuff like that. So it might not be the best route to have these OpenAI calls within our front end, and we might want to actually create our own microservice that goes and interacts with OpenAI for us, giving us the right info. So that is something to consider in the future. But for now, let's keep going. So we're going to continue with the US. I'll just change it to .gov just for the sake of it. All right. So we're going to say .gov, and we're going to say, we did that one. Let's do enter. And we have everything from, so this is not doing an OpenAI call. This is just going to the website of USA Jobs and extracting the information. All right, so now we got that. Let's continue. So now we get to this right here, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to do this prompt first. Then we're going to do this one, and then we're going to get crazy. We're going to get a little crazy. We're going to change it to Spanish. We're going to change it to French. We'll even change it to Japanese. I can semi-understand Spanish. I can read French. Japanese, I cannot do anything with that. But if it is not English text, I will, and if it is like looking, whatever they call the Japanese text, then I'll consider that as accurate, right? We got AR Smitty in the building. What's up, AR Smitty? How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing well. You know what? Forgot to mention this. How cold is it up there, AR? How old is it up there? Because, I mean, you're not gonna like this, but for me, it's cold down here, right? For me, it's cold. It is 49 degrees down here in South Florida. You're probably laughing at that. You're probably laughing at me, which is fair. But you know what? Let me see. Weather, Michigan. All right. I take it back. It's not cold down here. I take it back. It's not cold. It's, it's just cool down here. 22 degrees. Nope. No, thank you.
Do not come.
What up, AR Smitty? Always a pleasure to have you in the building. All right, let's continue. All right, so we're gonna run this. Then we're gonna run this to get our summary, right? Or we're not to get our summary, but to initialize this function, and then we're going to print it. Then we're going to update this over here. Then we're gonna run that again. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and set our system prompt and our let's set our system prompt, and then we're gonna do our user prompt. All right. So let's do that. So that's set. And now, so this is setting up our system prompt variable, defining it. And here we're going to say, we are going to go and do, let's run. So now we're going to define our user prompt and that function that's going to take a website, right? So let's do that. All right, so everything is defined. So the next step is to print user prompt for ed, which is passing this. So what is ed again, right? What is ed? So let's take a look at what ed is. Ed equals the class of website passing in http usajobs.gov, right? So we're going to do a couple of things. We are going to pass this in, but then we're going to create another one where we're going to maybe call it TCR. Maybe we'll call it, cyber. I don't know. We'll figure something out, right? But we're going to actually put this into practical implementation because I hate with a passion to just do what is given to me. Look, I do not like to be told what to do by any means necessary, right? So I do my own thing. So that's why when these courses try to say, hey, go ahead and do this and just live with it, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do your thing, but then I'm going to do my thing just so I can make sure I understand it. And I am not going to be sitting out there on the corner like, oh, well, at least I went through the course and I got my little certificate. I couldn't care about the certificate from the course. I care about actually understanding what I am doing. All right. So let's do it. Where are we? All right. So we're here. So now we're going to do this one, right? And let's see what happens. Where are we? Let me see. So user prompt for, you're looking at, all right, so this is returning us the prompt. You're looking at a website titled USA Jobs, the federal government's official employment site. The content of this website is as follows. Please provide a short summary of the website in Markdown. If it includes news or announcements, then summarize these two. Let me see, skip to the main content. Let's see what's going on over here. So it's giving information. You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, even better. Do I still have that job open? Let me see. Let me get the actual, because instead of just the homepage, the homepage is kind of basic, right? Let's go and find an actual an actual job on this website, right? Let me see. Let's see, Fort Lauderdale, maybe? I don't know. Let me see. Senior clinical nurse specialist. I don't know. Just grab this one. Why don't we? And so if we take this instead, and we actually do. So this is where I get a little crazy, right? I am going to say, I'm gonna go here, and I'm going to say, instead of using ed, we're going to say USA job rec, right? And we're going to say equals website, and then we're going to pass this in, close that, boom, right? So what I'm saying is USA jobs rec equals website, and then the USA jobs .gov/jobs. So this job description. So if you look at this job description real quick, right? It has all of this stuff in here about, what your roles and responsibilities are, right? So we are going to go over here and we are going to say, where was I? What am I doing? Where is it? Where was I typing that in? Hold on. I thought I was typing it over there. Hold on. Oh, no, that's right. All right, hold on. All right. So what I don't know what happened to it. Let me type that over again. All right, cool. So let me just type that over. So, oh, goodness gracious, hold on. I like Jupyter Notebooks, but I also don't like it. So, all right, we're going to say USA jobs rec equals website open. All right, so pass this job. And instead of passing ed in here, we're going to pass USA jobs rec in here instead. All right, let's see if that works. We're going outside of the box of the course, right? But let's see what happens. And we get, you're looking at USA Jobs job announcement. The content of this website is as follows. Yeah, and it has all this type of stuff. And then it's, all right, there we go. Senior clinical nurse specialist, asset support team, all that type of stuff, right? So cool. So we say, all right, ignoring text that might have navigation related all right, so we're still not going into OpenAI yet, right? I think the next up we're going to go into OpenAI, and it's going to strip out all the stuff that, like, all this stuff is going to get stripped out. But right now we're just gathering all the stuff that we're going to be passing into OpenAI, right? So if we continue down, it says, all right, so the API from OpenAI expects to receive messages in a particular structure. Many of the other APIs share the structure, right? So the role of the system and the content. So basically what we are passing in to, what we're passing into OpenAI as like the system of like, okay, you're going to be understanding this as someone explaining whatever was up there, right? And then the content of, so the user is this information we're going to be passing in, right? So it knows that as the system role is saying, strip out all the navigation and stuff like that. The role is passing in all this information, right? To give you a preview, the next two cells make a rather simple call. We won't stretch the might of GPT yet. So it says, all right, so it says you are a snarky assistant. So this is an example before we get into using what we've worked on. We got my guy, Rod Brown, in the building. What's up, Rod Brown? How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing well. Appreciate you. And thanks for calling in yesterday. It was a great conversation, great question, right? All right, so let's continue. All right, so you're a snarky assistant. Oh, okay. You know what? Should make it now. Let me behave. All right. I'll behave. We got my testing sister in the building. Monica, good morning. You know what? Just that let me take a sip of coffee. Thank you. I forgot to take a sip of coffee. Thank you. But my senior test engineer sister is in the building. Good morning, Monica. I really, really appreciate you. I love having other senior testers in the building because I know that I am not alone. I am not going to start playing the Michael Jackson song, but I know that I'm not alone, all right? Okay, so let's continue. So we have so it's a snarky assistant, right? What is 2 + 2? So let's see. So we pass in this message, right? Right. So now to get the response, it's going to say, all right, open So this is the how Chat GPT or OpenAI, not Chat GPT, but OpenAI works, right? So we did this when we were setting up the AI portion of the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data, where we pass in a custom job role. But it's saying that OpenAI.chat completion create, and then the model is GPT-40-mini, and it is saying message equals messages, right? So this is the message that we're going to be passing in, right? Messages, where it's passing in the system content and the user content, right? So the system content, you're a snarky assistant. The user content is what is 2.2, right? So then it's going to return to us. So we're going to be printing out the response, and then it follows choices with the first thing in the list or array that it provides you, and then you're going to do message.content, right? So that should take you to the response of OpenAI, okay? So if we press enter, she get a response. Okay, so the response from the snarky assistant says, "Oh, we are starting with the big questions, huh? Let me break it down for you. 2 + 2 = 4. Shocking. I know. You know what? I might be mistaken, but I think the snarky assistant is talking about my best friend. You know what? You will not talk about my best friend, Mitch. All right. I'm just saying. He might be here. He might not be, right? But OpenAI, you better get your act together, because, like, I'm just saying. Right. Anyways. Let's continue. Right. So we got that, right. So to recap, our message is passing in a list, and in the list you have an object, right? You have a JSON object of you have the role, right? For the system, and the content you're passing in is a snarky assistant. Then you have the role for the user, and the content you're passing in is what is 2 + 2. So although I have used this plenty of times before, with work I've done with work I've done on different applications, it just clicked to me by going through the course, by going through this, getting the explanation that the system you're passing in is the role you wanted to assume, and then the user is like, what is the question that you're asking, right? And then now we actually see it over here, where you pass everything through, and I'm breaking down the response and everything like that. Makes a lot more sense. And this is why, like, although you can probably follow a tutorial, follow a guide and stuff like that, actually going through the course step by step, going through the principles, the concepts, getting hands-on experience, that's why for me it is cumulative. It's not like, that's what I was telling Chris Parks yesterday, and I sent him a long message in the Patreon this morning on how to get that practical experience with the Security Plus. But it's like you're learning this, but you also need to do things like this, things like that on your own, so that you can get some hands-on experience. Like, I'll tell you this, and I'll speak for I don't like to speak, but I will speak for Monica on this, right? You could have read all the books, watch all the videos on how to do automation, but until you write that first line of code, it doesn't mean much, right? Because you have to see it fail, troubleshoot it, go on Stack Overflow, all that other stuff, and then you see it work, like, oh, now it's starting to register. And that's how it worked for me. I'm pretty sure that's how it's worked for Monica as well. Oh,
it's only money.
My guy, Peter Investor, in the building. What's up, Peter Investor? Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. Look at that.
I appreciate you.
My guy, Peter Investor. Such amazing guy. All right. Let's continue along a little bit, and then I'm gonna check on this. All right. So to give you a preview, all right. So we got that. And now it says, let's build useful messages for GPT-40 mini using a function, right? So we're going to say define a function for the website that we're going to be passing in, right? Return the role of system. So that's a system prompt that we had before. And then we're going to say the role of the user prompt for the website. So what it's going to do is saying, all right, this is the one that's saying, take the, let's just look it up. Can I minimize these? Let me see. These are, I wish I could minimize these. Can I minimize them? Ah, there we go. Okay, I can minimize, right? So let's minimize these, right? We don't need this. We do not need, all right, we need that one. Let me minimize this one as well. Minimize that. So we are looking at, so we have, all right, so we have our system prompt over here. So the system prompt is, so this system prompt, and let me minimize these as well. All right, so system prompt is this. So you're gonna be passing the system prompt here. And system prompt is you're an assistant that analyzes the contents of a website and provides a short summary, ignoring the text that might be navigation related, respond in Markdown. And then we go down here and it says, so the user prompt for website, which is going to be here, the user prompt for website, we're passing in the website and we're doing all of this, all right? And it's returning the user prompt. So we're passing that as our system and we're passing the user prompt as our user, right? And this is, all right, try this out and then try a few more websites, all right? So we're gonna try this out and then we're gonna try some more websites. So let's do, we already have the USA jobs rec, right? So let's do this. So let's try the one from, actually that's gonna be USA jobs. Let's do, you know what? Forget Ed. Let's just do USA jobs rec, right? We'll do our own, right? Let's pass that in. Oh, what happened over here? Let me see. Oh, messages. So we got to define messages for. And now we go over here. Let's see what we get. All right, so it's passing in. So there goes our, it's gonna pass this in, all right? So we have our message defined. And it's going to say, all right, our system, respond in Markdown, and then it's passing in all of this stuff into the content, right? So now, time to bring it together. We got 10 minutes left, perfect time, right? The API for OpenAI is very simple. Do me a favor. Anybody drop me in the chat a URL that we would like to summarize, right? So that we can try it out with some different websites. I will find some website to use, or if you guys drop me some websites, I will use your website so that we can see this in action. I like it to be interactive, so it's like you see that the information that you're passing in is getting summarized and stuff. It is not like if you have a news article you want to summarize, whatever the case may be, drop it and I'll pass it through so we can see it in action. All right. So now time to bring it together. The API for OpenAI is very simple. Define summarize. So this is the summarize function that we're going to be passing in a URL. The website is going to be, so website and then passing the URL. Okay. And then the response is going to be OpenAI chat completion create. And we're passing in the model and we're passing in the message and return response choices message content. All right. So before we even do that, I do want, so let's do another one here. Let me see if I was to define, let me go and see what I can find. Let's go to, all right, let me find one of these. Give me a second. I will do, let me find another site real quick. Let's go to, I'll take this story right here, right? So I'm going to take this LinkedIn story and I'm going to say LinkedIn news, just so we can try one more out, right? And then we're going to pass a few different sites in there. LinkedIn news equals website. Pass that in. And I'm going to pass in LinkedIn news over here. And I'm going to do enter. And now we have this for this page right here, right? Oops, nope, not that. Let's do, oops. Boom, right? And then we have this story over here, right? So short story, but whatever, not a big deal. We can even take this. Let's take the NBC News, right? Let's take the NBC News, and we go over to. I'll change it again. Let's change it from that to the official story, And if we press enter, boom, there we go. So it goes to NBC News. It gets a summary of all of that. All right. So now we are here. Let's continue with this. And we'll pass in some different URLs, right? So let's go and we're going to run this for the summarize. And now we'll start off. I'm more than happy to start off with Edward Donner, right? But then we're going to try in our own few examples. Just go enter. And the summary. All right. So summary. Summary of Edward Donner's website. Edward Donner's website serves as a personal platform showcasing his interest in professional activities, yada, yada, yada. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave Edward Donner over there, right? But I'm going to say, let's add a cell above. Can I add a cell? Where do I add a cell? And this is like the stuff about learning more about Jupyter, right? So do I want a new launcher? Let me see. What happens if I press this? Oh, that's not what I wanted. I just want to add in or I think it's this one. Insert a cell below. So let's go here. Let's insert a cell below. And now I'm just going to do summarize. And we'll do the NBC News, right? And let's press enter. And let me go and find that job from USA Jobs. And we go over here. And there we go. It's our summary for the for that one. And if we look, right, if we look over here, it's a pretty long article, right? And if we look over here, it is, I don't know, we'd have to see it printed out, but let me do one more. We'll do the job one that from USA Jobs. So summarize. And enter. And there it goes. There goes our summary for that job, all right? So next up, we want to display. So a function to display nicely in Jupyter output using Markdown. So define display summary, passing the URL. Summary equals summarize URL. So this basically is like define a function. And this is like this is just like software engineering, software development principles that we're using here. We have a function, right? So summarize, and we're going to, so it says display the summary in Markdown, right? So what is the display? Where is that coming from? A function to display nicely in Jupyter output using Markdown. I don't know, where did display come from? Is that a part of? I don't know where this one came from, to be honest. Let me go back to the top real quick. Let me see. Is there a package called display? IPython. Okay, so yeah, so it's coming from, all right. So that, because I have never seen a display before. So so there's a package called IPython and then display. So import Markdown and display. All right, cool. So see, I was like, huh, okay. All right, so now it's saying to, so display summary, the summary is summarize URL, which is what we did above, where it's going to be taking the URL, going to ChatGPT, doing all that stuff. And then we're going to say display the Markdown for the summary right here. So let's say display summary for Edward Donner. Let's give it a try. Why don't we? Oh, gotta do that one first. All right, now let's give it a try. Let's see. And summary of Edward Donner. It says Edward Donner's website serves as a personal platform where he shares his insights, yada, yada, yada. Key features, outsmart about, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. So let's try a few more websites, all right? I am not going to try CNN. What we're going to do, we're going to try the NBC article for, this cyber thing, right? We're going to just erase that. Paste that in here. And let's give that one a go. Let's see. And there we go. Summary of the website. US to roll out cyber trust mark label on secure devices. And so the US is set to introduce the US cyber trust mark label aimed at designing certain internet connected products as a meeting, establish cybersecurity standards. Yeah, all right. Whoa, where'd that come from? All right. Geez. All right, there you go. So it summarizes this long article into this article right here. Let's do the USA jobs one as well. All right, so copy that. And I'm going to just remove Anthropic because, like I said, I like to do my own thing. All right, so let's see what it comes up with. USA jobs. All right, so let me see. USA Jobs is the official website of the U.S. government for official jobs, showcasing yada yada. One highlighted position is senior clinical nurse specialist with the Department of Homeland Security, yada 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 under IT. All right, cool. So here's the deal, right? We're gonna leave it at that for today. Business application. We'll continue with this part on Monday so we can wrap up day 1 of the course, and then we'll get into day 2. But here's what I'll say before we wrap it up, right? Before we wrap it up, I'm gonna go back to full screen. And by doing this, by doing this basic project, this summarizer, I already got some ideas. Am I going to implement them? Maybe not, but it would be a really cool project for any one of you where I'm like, oh, well, if we can build this summarizer, right? And Monica will understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Selenium or Playwright or whatever, right? But you can say, run the script to go to different news sites, right? So let's say you say, go to NBC, CNN, Fox, whatever, right? And then you say, all right, take find this part on the page where it's like the top news stories, right? And gather those links and save that to a list, right? And then loop through each one of those pages, gathering the content like we did, and getting the summary and outputting that, right? So that way you end up building, like, let's say you build your own application. You don't want to go and read through a bunch of news, stuff like that. You don't have the time for it. You're busy. You're actually learning LLM, ethical hacking, DevOps, all that good, Python, all that good stuff. So you don't have time to go follow all the news, right? But you can apply what you're learning by building a web page summarizer where you're using Selenium, right, or whatever, and using Beautiful Soup to input that to intake that information, and you're building your own app. Does it exist? Probably, but you can do it for yourself. And now you go in every morning and you take the top news stories and you build your own thing so that you can have your coffee, read your news summary to see what's important while you are working, right? While you're getting ready for work, whatever. And then you can even deploy it on wherever, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and that way, when you're on your phone.
The sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
I got you. We're gonna wrap it up. But let me finish this, right? So you can use that for like now you have it on your phone, you have it mobile friendly. Everything that I talk about here, right? There are so many different ways to apply it. If you're learning front-end development, right? You're still gonna have to know some Docker and containerizing. You're still gonna have to know some DevOps. You're going to you might need to know like some how to crawl a website and stuff like that, so that you can actually build something comprehensive, something useful. And guess what? If you find value in it, right? You can have it where you can provide it to other people and they might find value in it as well. And then you can say, oh, you know what? Maybe I can add some type of like paywall to some of it, or maybe some type of subscription. Like, who knows? I don't know, but there's so many different ideas. There's so many different ideas on what you can do just from this very, very simple, basic day 1 implementation of the web page summarizer. So I am excited. I say, let's cheer ourselves on.
We the best.
I think we did a great job today. I'm gonna check the chat before we get out of here, but then Monday we're gonna finish reading through this Jupyter Labs notebook that we're going through, and then we're gonna get into day 2. All right. So let me see what the chat is saying. Let me see. So Monica says, interesting. I just started working with Olama to make my own AI assistants to work and code as I do. Learn my code bases. What? That is super. You know what? I'm going to have a little party for Monica because that is super cool. Like last Monday, we played around with Olama. Really cool stuff. Are you using like did you download like the Olama like version 3.2, 3.3 and have that running on your computer so like you can do that? That's super cool.
Best. Let's get it.
That's awesome. That is, I love to see that. I love to see that. So, but like I said, Monica has the mind of a true QA engineer, right? Always trying to say, like, how can I make my life more efficient? How can I make my life better? How can I make my work better? How can I make my team's life easier? So that's amazing. Let me see. Peter Investor says, great to be here. I'm happy to have you here. Monica agrees with me with what I was saying. Peter says, question, is it beneficial? Where's the question? Is it beneficial to learn coding and related tech skills since generative AI or AI can perform them? It is absolutely essential because AI is an assistant. It is a personal assistant. It is an assistant who doesn't talk back or complain, right? It's a great assistant. However, at the end of the day, it is still an assistant. And it will provide as good as results as you're able to input to it. So for example, if all right, I'll give you an example, Peter. Let's say you're my assistant, right? You're not my assistant. You'll never be my assistant, right? But let's say you were my assistant. And I said, you know what? I need you to go and get me a laptop, right? So I just say, you know what, Peter, get me a laptop, right? That's my task for you. And now you go out there and you go to Best Buy, Amazon, wherever, and you just search laptop, and the very first laptop you see, you buy it, right? And now you bring me back that laptop, and I'm like, Peter, what the hell is this? What am I supposed to do with this? Like this has 4 gigs. It has no GPU, like no strong GPU, yada yada yada, right? You brought me back a 2001 Chromebook, right? Which I can't do the type of development I need to do on that, right? So is it my fault that you brought me something that I didn't need, or is it your fault that you brought me something that I didn't need, right? I think it's my fault because I did not prompt you well enough on what I needed. So as the prompt engineer, I should say, hey, Peter, I need to, we're going to be using Docker. We're going to be streaming. We're going to be doing DevOps, AI, all that type of stuff, right? Now, if I'm not sure what I need, I'm like, can you search and come back to me with what would be my options to be able to do that stuff? So now, as the assistant, like, okay, you're asking me to research. I'm going to research, and I'm going to find the different things the different spec that you might need for what you're looking to do. And then when you bring that up, I'm like, okay, I like that. Can you get me a MacBook Pro, right? That has 96 gigs of RAM, that has a 40 core GPU, whatever the number is, has an M4 chip, right? The hard drive space is 2 terabytes, right? Because, and now that I'm prompting you effectively and efficiently, you're targeted to, and I want you to find me the best price possible, right? And I want it to be new. So now you have all the parameters. I'm prompting you in a way that you know exactly what to look for. And then you can go out there and find exactly what I need. And you bring it back and I say, oh, Peter, this is perfect. That's exactly what I needed, right? So that's why it is important, because through code, you're going to be prompting your AI to do what you need it to do for you. It is your assistant, not your replacement. It is a replacement of people who do not want to do anything, but AI can be your best friend, or it can be your grim reaper. So hopefully, I have to clip that up. I have to clip that up because hopefully that adds some additional context to what the use of AI is, at least for now, right? Monica says, in addition, it says most definitely AI code more than most of the time need to be adjusted because it lacks full context understanding. That's where your coding knowledge comes into play 100%. 100%. Says, think of it as trying to speak Spanish to natives using Google Translate. That is a good example as well. That's a great example. They might get what you're trying to say, but look at you weird and you don't know why. That by you mentioning Spanish, that reminds me. So on Monday, we're also going to update the prompt to give us the summary in other languages as well, right? So I think that'd be pretty cool to do. Give it to us in other languages and go from there. Let me see. It says in the news, there's some AI program to code, so it's still necessary to learn coding. Yep, totally. Like it's an assistant. It's an assistant. We got Project Kill JR in the building. What's good? Good morning. All right, so that's it. That is it for this morning. Hopefully you guys are informed and entertained. Hopefully I added value to you. That is my only goal. You guys see how I'm learning this, and hopefully that helps you on your journey. And as you're going through this, if you get stuck at any moment, feel free to ask in the chat. More than happy to take the time to answer your questions. And if I don't get to it on that particular show, I will make a note of it, add it to my notes so that we can get to it on the next show. But that is the goal here. I want you guys to not be left behind. If you are left behind because you do not grasp it, you don't take onto it, you just want to, sit and wait, then that is on you. But I, as well as those who want to come forward, we are moving forward. We are going to win. All right. But with that being said, we're done for today. It's Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. You guys go out there and have an amazing, amazing day. This is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Sun's up, early caffeine's a call. Ralph with tech news ready for all. Coding workouts getting us toned. By sunrise we'll be in the zone. Grab your Java, sip the brew. Headlines, tech tips just for you. Editing lines, making it tight. With every keystroke we see the light. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech Coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Push those reps in lines of code. Script the future fast and bold. From headlines deep to bites so bright, we're your guide to morning mics. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech Coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Coding flows, camaraderie grows. News unfolds and insight flows. Minute by minute, heartbeats pace. Come join us at the daily race. CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech Coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Coffee and CAA, wake up the day. Stretch your mind in the geeky way. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech Coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Mornings are better with our grind. Tech Coach Ralph, you'll never lag behind. Mornings are better with our grind. People yap about the dreams they chase, big plans on show in a noisy space, talking loud but moving slow, hollow words where actions go. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Empty promises fill the air. Procrastination everywhere. Stop the act, just make the move. Whoa. Show your grind, let talent groove. Whoa. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Enough of words, let's see the deeds. Don't just plant but sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Enough of words, let's see the deeds. Don't just plant but sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Words, let's see deeds. Just plant and sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay.